watches YouTube or listens to the replay of the board meeting. I agree, Mike, the recourse for anybody who feels that they're being dealt with through this village is to follow the ordinance and go to the Public Service Commission and fight it that way. And if we have to make the correction, we make the correction. But I think, personally, I think we've heard enough of this. I think it's about 3 years now we've been listening to the clean water utility, and nothing's changed. Nobody's challenged us on this. Nobody's taken us to court on this. Nobody's told us we're doing something wrong. I think we've protected the village as far as our handling of the utility and how we're administering it, and I suggest that we continue in that way.
Mike, Mr. Driscoll in the article had posed a question to Rick Olin, the legislator in Madison.
Yeah, that was another thing that I think the Kenosha News really didn't do a good job of taking what they were getting and following up on it. The question posed by Mr. Driscoll to Olin was, is the village required to have a stormwater utility? No, we're not. That's never been an issue. I mean, the village has always had the option to say, well, let's do this by property tax. Let's just do it a flat fee, and we don't need a utility. It'll just be part of the tax roll. Or you could still have a utility and then pretend that everybody's the same and charge the same rate. Mr. Olden's response was, no, we're not required to have a utility. But the question is there's two questions. One is, do we have to be in compliance with the Clean Water Act? Yes. The second is, do we have the authority to have the utility? I agree, but we didn't have to do it. And for the people that say we didn't have to do it, I mean, unless you're prepared to answer the equity problem of saying, okay, everybody's going to share in the cost of the people who have big lots, so that the people with the bigger lots don't have higher assessments, then I mean that's really the policy question of the board 3 years ago. It says no, we're only going to charge people for what they're using. It would be like saying, let's make everybody's property tax assessment the same, so that the guy that lives in the big house doesn't have to pay any more than the guy that lives in the small house, so it'll be equal. And that's, at some point, law of the state is a law of the state. And if you're gonna, if something's gonna be utility, it's gonna be based on that, on your use. If it's a tax, it's gonna be based on your value. And we don't do income taxes, we don't care, but we don't have any control over what people make, but we do control the determination of value. So I think they took advantage of a statement made by Mr. Olin to a completely separate issue and applied it to the utility in general. Again, I don't think that's helpful or responsible, but we don't write the ink either.
Other comments or questions from Mike? Hearing none, we'll move from item 7 to item 8, new business. The first item being item 8, we have to consider the weights and measures assessment from 7/106 to 6/30/7.
Mr. President, weights and measures is something that, again, another item that the state requires the village of Pleasant Prairie to monitor. We don't have the staff to do that, so we in turn contract that back to the state, and they charge the village based on what they come out and measure and the level of effort that they have to undertake to engage in that measurement. We have an annual assessment for measures and services that we received from them from July 1st to 2006 to June 30, 2007. We've identified those people who have those that we're going to, schedules going to be adopted tonight. And the schedule assessment is approved by the board. Invoices will be mailed and due within 30 days mail. So again, some of these users, and if you look at the spreadsheet, I apologize for it's a big spreadsheet with a lot of smaller numbers on it, but those users that have more intensive checks on are going to pay a higher rate. And this is a fee the state passes on to us, the charge that we pass on to the users, rather than have the taxpayers pay for it out of the property tax. Being my recommendation that the village board adopt the schedule presented by the superintendent building inspection.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Clyde, second by Mike. Further discussion on this item? Hearing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. The next item is item B, and that's to consider ordinance number 07-52 to amend chapter 378 of the municipal code. This is relating to building permit fees.
Sure, we have a. I got it. Before we have a village code for building permit fees, these fees were adopted by the, in consideration of the village budget, by the board. Increases in fees for dwelling units going from $30 per square foot to 35 cents per square foot. Sewer and water lateral connections increasing by $35. Storm sewer. Same for two-family permit fees. And commercial, the electrical for a new principal or accessory structure is $35 plus 3 cents per square foot. Addition, the minimum fee is $55. Multifamily permit fees, also minimum electrical from 50 to 55. Licenses from electrical license from 35 up to 50. Boarded up fees as presented.
Mike?
The board approves this during the budget process, and I move approval of the ordinance 752.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Monica. Any further questions or discussions?
Just one quick question. These fees are comparable with other communities our size, as far as permits?
I think we're close, to be honest with you. We could look at it and what our costs for doing the fees. Well, we had started having we have a part-time electrical inspector that does the work. So for him to get the work done and get that done, that's where we are. And for the sewer and water lateral inspections, those are really more intensive than just going out there and doing it. Before, it was really based on a site visit, take a look. But if they're there, taking a look at the plug, seeing whether or not the sewer line's holding air, or checking the leaks, they end up spending more time out there. So they're really more related to our effort in the field and our coming up with an average. But, more once we can survey and do comparison of similar communities.
So it's basically based on time, man-hours being on there to inspect the property?
What's customized?
Yes.
And it's, again, backed by the principle that people that are obtaining that service should pay for it rather than more on the tax.
Thank you.
I think it's a known fact that a good inspection is going to save the homeowner money in the long run. Because it's going to determine that the job is done right and we're not going to have problems down the road. And it's kind of an invaluable service we provide. Some people aren't always the happiest with it, but in the end run, it's going to benefit our homeowner and that property. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. The next item is item C, that is to receive the Planning Commission recommendation. Consider Resolution 07-94. This is to approve a final condominium plat for the request of Perry Master of Regency Hills Creekside Crossing LLC, which is the owner of property generally located north of 90th Street at 62nd Avenue within the Creekside Crossing development for the proposed 72-unit condominium development to be known as the second edition addendum to the Creekside Crossing condominium.
Mr. President, I would ask that the next item, item D, be taken up at the same time. However, separate action would be necessary.